Alright guys, Revolve Rostler here, and tonight I'm going to be reviewing Battleground 2017, the pay-per-view that just finished, and I sound too excited again. Like oh, this show just finished, and I've got my notes here, and I'm already pissed off. I'm so pissed off. I was going to do a pissed off review, like video, but I've decided I'll just do a review now because there's no point in doing it in the morning. I look knackered, because I am knackered, but I'll get this review up now, whatever. I'm not even wearing a wrestling shirt today, I'm just wearing my Star Labs hoodie. Battleground 2017, a pay-per-view I went into with not looking forward to it. The fucking main event was a Punjabi prison match. Do you remember the last two? They were shit. They had the Great Khali and Batista in, and they had Big Show and Undertaker. The only great worker there was The Undertaker, and he only works great with certain people like Shawn Michaels and Edge. And so this pay-per-view had a main event which I wasn't looking forward to. Fucking nobody was looking forward to. What else did this show have going for it? It had the US title match with AJ Styles and Kevin Owens, which should have been good. You're right. We'll get to that. You know what? Let's just start reviewing the show. Screw it. I need to get this done. Oh, my rage. Seriously, you have no idea. You have no idea. Ugh, right. So the show kicked off. I missed the pre-show. Aiden English beat Ty Dillinger. What the fuck? Ty Dillinger's lost on the main roster. Like, I thought you were building him up a little bit. No, never mind. I couldn't really care. I didn't watch the match. So I don't watch the pre-show because I'm not an idiot. I say this every single time. Apart from the last... apart from a couple of pay-per-views ago where I did watch the pre-show. So I am an idiot at that time, but not this time. Anyway, the proper show kicked off with the best match on the show. The New Day against the Usos for the SmackDown Live Tag Team titles. This match was fantastic wrestling. Outstanding tag team work from two teams that don't get enough credit. And on this show, they were leaps and bounds ahead of everyone. And I mean everyone. Especially you guys in the main event. Just great stuff. The New Day controlled the Usos very, very early. Great stuff from them. But eventually, of course, the Usos would get the heat on Xavier Woods, who would be the second man as opposed to Big E. That's very smart, because it meant that Kofi would have to be the hot tag guy. So we got to see how Kofi was as that guy. It was very good. This match, so great. Xavier finally got that hot tag to Kofi. He ran in. He was a absolute ball of fun. He eventually tagged in Xavier Woods. He went for a trustful leap to the outside. The Usos caught him, powerbombed him on the outside. This took Kofi out for a long time, which I really did like because it showed that the move was strong and it hurt. Then Xavier fought off both Usos on his own. He hit a wheelbarrow facebuster, which is basically he does the Rey Mysterio wheelbarrow, then goes through the legs and hits a facebuster for a really good 2 count. But then the Usos just kill Xavier Woods. They hit him with an aided pop-up Samoan drop for a great near fall. Really believe that was the finish. And then Xavier Woods fights back. He goes for a springboard elbow drop on one of the Usos and gets super kicked in midair. And it was beautiful. It was one of the most beautiful super kicks I've ever seen. Outstanding timing. 1-2. Woods kicked out. They gave Xavier Woods a lot in this matchup. Xavier Woods and Kofi then finally started working together. Kofi saved Xavier Woods. They hit a backbreaker foot stomp combo for a great 2 count. Really good near falls in this last couple of minutes. They were so believable as near falls, and it really made this match awesome for me. The Usos would hit a super kick splash combo on Kofi. 1-2. Kofi kicked out, which again, fantastic near fall. They would go for a double splash, but Xavier would crotch one of the Usos. He would then fall to the outside. The other Uso would miss the splash. He would then be hit by the Trouble in Paradise from Kofi and a springboard elbow drop from Xavier Woods for the 1-2-3. Great, fantastic professional wrestling match. 4.25 stars. By far the best thing on this show. Nobody will contest me. And just great match. Awesome way to kick off the show. And I think my notes, pretty much, I've gone off everything in my notes, so I'm pretty happy with that. Yeah, pretty much everything of my notes. Awesome match, basically is how I ended it. Second match on the show, Baron Corbin, Shinsuke Nakamura. This wasn't bad, and towards the finish, this was probably one of Baron Corbin's better matches. It was pretty boring at points, but it's just Baron Corbin. He's just a boring guy. He's a boring pro wrestler. He does a lot of bear hugs, and bear hugs are very boring. Like, rest holds, you need them, and guys like Owens obviously use them a lot, and his rest holds are obviously satirically boring. But Baron Corbin is just boring. This match was all about strikes, like the striking battle between them, which I thought was the best part of the match that they didn't really do much with. Was great. Like the back and forth strikes from Corbin and Nakamura, and JBL said the two best strikers on SmackDown Live, and I was like, okay, whatever. One of them probably Styles and Nakamura. Now I think about it. So yeah, that was a good bit, but then like Nakamura, he got a couple of big kicks in, the big axe kick to the back of the head, and that seems to daze Baron Corbin. He got a front suplex at one point. He went for the Kinshasa. Corbin hit that deep six. But eventually, Nakamura set up for the Kinshasa, and he didn't hit it. He went for the reverse exploder, and Baron Corbin just reverse kicked him in the balls for the DQ. What the fuck? Did we need that finish to this match? No. Why did Baron Corbin need to be saved here? He won the Money in the Bank briefcase. Like, I know that people get pissed off when the Money in the Bank winner is always, like, really beaten a lot, but he just won the briefcase. He doesn't need to beat Shinsuke. He doesn't need to lose by DQ. And I know they need to keep Nakamura winning. Have Nakamura just beat him. It doesn't matter that he's beating Baron Corbin. Baron Corbin isn't this unbeatable, dominant Braun Strowman character. So the finish really dampened what was an alright match. But in the end, again, the finish dampened what was an alright match. So I believe I gave them, in the end, 2 3/4 stars. Decent match. Was good. I thought it was good, but the finish just hurt it in the end. So decent in the end. Then we had the 5-way women's elimination match to determine the number one contender to Naomi's SmackDown Women's Championship at SummerSlam. I thought this was fine. It was fucking clunky though at the beginning, and it really was very clunky at the beginning. The competitors were Lana, Tamina, Charlotte, Natalya, and Becky Lynch. I went into this thinking Charlotte would win, like fairly obviously, but it did surprise me, and I'll get into it. It was a 5-way elimination match. So Lana and Tamina worked together. Their stuff was really clunky. Those two women are very glint. Lana's mega sexy. Like, I'm just fucking say it. Lana's mega sexy, and she looked amazing in her suit, in her outfit, but, like, she's so green. She is so green. Tamina as well is so green. The Samoan drops and stuff she hits aren't even that great. Eventually, the first elimination would come, and it was... But we had some stuff before that. I may as well talk about it. What actually did happen before that? I actually put in my notes, why is Lana in this match? Because she lost 3 times to the champ in the last month, which I just found a little bit weird. Tamina is from the Pacific Islands. So they announce, when Tamina comes down to the ring, they announce she's from the Pacific Islands, and I just thought to myself, what, she's from every single Pacific Island? You understand there's like 250,000 Pacific Islands. She's from a Pacific Island would probably be better. Or just say she's from Hawaii, because that's what you're suggesting. You're suggesting that she's from the same place as her father, who we can't talk about because he's a murderer. And he actually is a murderer. But just say she's from Hawaii. Christ. We had stuff happened. There was a low drop kick from Natalya. Becky Lynch saved Charlotte from being double teamed by the Minas. What? Tamina and Lana. Oh, I'm tired. Yeah, Tamina killed herself with a spear through the bottom rope. Yeah, I remember this. Through the bottom rope, Tamina speared Charlotte off the apron to the floor. And it was like Big E's spear, but it was through the bottom rope. And Tamina just looked like she died. But of course, she got up and got in the ring and was fine. And then, what was weird was Becky Lynch made Tamina tap to the disarmer. She then immediately made Lana tap to the disarmer. Becky Lynch was then immediately pinned by Natalya with a schoolgirl, and then that just seemed really quick. Like I get that they wanted rapid eliminations because, oh shock, but that just seemed really quick. Like, Becky Lynch had nothing done to her. Yeah, Natalya had the tights, but Becky Lynch had nothing done to her. So that just seemed weird. But I do want to give this match a little bit of credit. I think that the last couple of minutes with Charlotte and Natalya were great. The best spot was that spot where Natalya was going for a triangle choke, and Charlotte did the best gotch powerbomb, where you pull them up, and she just fought and fought and fought and fought and fought, and finally got that sit-out powerbomb for a great near fall that was believable. She then went for the moonsault. Natalya got the knees up, and then just threw Charlotte neck first into the bottom turnbuckle for the 1-2-3. Bit of a flat finish after what we'd just seen with the moonsault and powerbomb spot, but outside of that, this was fine. I can't even remember what I gave this. I gave this 3 stars. I think mainly because the last couple of minutes with Natalya and Charlotte were very, very good. But obviously the beginning stuff was very clunky and it was just booked really weirdly. I would have gone with Charlotte here just because Charlotte and Naomi's a big match that SummerSlam feels like it should go at a SummerSlam. But whatever. Natalya wins 3 stars. This was probably not that good. Like, this probably wasn't a good match. It was probably like a fine match, but it's because the last couple of minutes were really, really good. So, yeah, well done, ladies. Then we had the US title match, Stiles and Owens. This was actually really underwhelming. Like, I overrated their Backlash match. On rewatch, that was like a really good match, but it wasn't like an amazing match. It wasn't better than Rude and Itami the night before in Chicago. It was like a very good match, like a 4-star, maybe even 3 3/4. 4-star if you really liked it. I'd probably go 4-star. This match here was not even as good as that. Like, this match here was like a pretty good match. It wasn't bad, obviously, but it just was missing something. Like, they did all the spots. Owens locked in a chin lock. Styles hit his Ushigoroshi, and he hit his Argentine powerbomb, which was actually well done, and his Ushigoroshi was well teased. Owens hit a snap DDT, and they did strikes and all that stuff, and they blocked the pop-up powerbomb once, and they blocked the phenomenal forearm once, where Owens swiped Styles' legs. And by the way, I've only just noticed I'm not in my house at home. I'm at my brother's, because basically, yeah, I'm at my brother's. That's it. I'm at my brother's watching a pay-per-view. So yeah, at one point, Owens swiped Styles' legs on the apron and he fell on his shoulder, and he did sell that really, really well. Like, but this match just, I don't know, it just didn't really happen. Like, nothing really happened. There was no near falls, like, at all. No believable near falls, anyway. And then the finish came where Styles went for the Styles Clash. Owens picked him up, threw him into the ref, and I was like, oh shit, here we go. We've already had one fuck finish. We're going to get another one. No, that's not what happened. AJ locked in the calf killer. The calf crusher, sorry. Owens reversed it into a crossface. Styles then reversed that into a crossface, which Owens arched back, and the referee counted to 3, and Styles lost. So Styles held the belt for 2 weeks? I don't really know. Like, the finish was flat, as well, which didn't help this match in the slightest. The finish was really flat. It just came out of nowhere. Nobody understood it. A couple of people thought that it was a double pin. It wasn't. Like, I didn't think it was anyway. It didn't look like Styles' right shoulder was down. But yeah, it's not a bad match. It was a very good match, but it just was underwhelming. I gave him 3.5 stars, which is probably AJ Styles' worst pay-per-view match he's had in the company. And he's had it with Kevin Owens. And it's none of the guys' fault. Like, I don't know, they just had a really off day. Yeah, that's all I can say. It was a pretty good match, but then we move on, and we have the I can't remember what we had next. We had the flag match, Cena and Rusev. I found this really boring. I'm trying to give this pay-per-view some credit, but outside of the opener, nothing was very good. Outside of the Styles and Owens match, which again was disappointing. The flag match here was very boring. They had weird rules for it. So it wasn't just you pulled your flag down from the pole. You had to run up the ramp and put it into a podium, which I found mega daft. Sorry, I just thought I heard something at the window. I thought was really, really daft. They had these podiums, which did look cool. Not much happened. Rusev pulled his flag down first. Cena pulled his flag down after an AA. They brawled for a bit. They hit each other with the flags. Rusev set up 2 tables for the most, and I'd be genuinely serious, the most choreographed Cena's going to AA him off the podium through the table spot I've ever seen. Seriously. It was poor. And then that's what happened. Cena AA'd him off the podium through the tables and put his flag in the podium. And that was the match. You know what I mean? Other things happened, like Rusev put him in the accolade and Cena fought out of it and got the AA, but outside of that, this was a match. It wasn't bad. It wasn't good. It was a match. I'm going to give it 2.5 stars. I did like the finish, and that's probably why I'm giving it 2.5 stars. The finish was very, very good. It was choreographed as shit, but it was a very, very good finish. 2.5 stars. Cena wins. Lol. Then we had the Fashion X-Files thing backstage, the skit with Fandango and Tyler Breeze finally finding out who's been causing them all the trouble, and the Ascension turn up, and I went, fuck's sake, not again. We're not having a fucking Ascension Fandango Breeze Angle match on pay-per-view again, are we? No, we aren't. They basically says, the Ascension? Oh, that's underwhelming, and I was like, that actually made me laugh. Then the Ascension leave, because they proved that it wasn't the Ascension. Then the lights go out, and they both get knocked out, and Fandango gets pulled away. There's only really, 3 people this can be. It's either Kane, or it's what you call them? The Wyatt family, Rowan and Harper, sorry. But yeah, this was fine, whatever. The joke of the Ascension being jokes was jokingly funny. Then we had Mike Kanellis and Sami Zayn, and Mike Kanellis' gimmick shit. I say this every fucking time I see him. It's a dead on arrival gimmick. That lovey-dovey gimmick never works. Name a single person that worked for. And they are competent workers, and I'm going to go into a tangent about this as well, because this is one of the other things I'm going to go into a tangent about. Mike Kanellis isn't even that great. Mike Bennett isn't even that great of a worker. He's fine. Should we be beating Sami Zayn in 3 minutes? Fuck no. Is he better than Sami Zayn? Fuck no. Is he better than Shinsuke Nakamura? Fuck no. Is he better than John Cena? Fuck no. Does he deserve a big SummerSlam match? Fuck no. He's a tag team wrestler. And that's it. This match with Sami Zayn was fine. Nothing happened. Sami Zayn won, which normally I'd be pissed about, because, you shouldn't lose in your debut on pay-per-view. Here I didn't give a shit, because the gimmick sucks. It shows me that if you make people not care about a wrestler, then they don't care when they lose. 2.25 stars. This was a fine match, but Sami Zayn won, and it was weird. And I did laugh when Sami Zayn won. And I was happy when Sami Zayn won, because I was like, yeah, give Sami Zayn a win, for fuck's sake. Whatever. There's a load of shit. And then we had the main event. The Punjabi prison match for the WWE title with no interference from the Singhs, who of course interfered. And it was Jinder Mahal, the worst champion in history, against Randy Orton, one of the greats. And stuff happened. They threw each other into the cage. They both tried to get out the door 3 times. Eventually, the door was open. The last door was open, and the Singh brothers came from underneath the cage, and they helped Jinder out, and Randy was locked in, and Randy had to climb out, and he climbed out, and he climbed onto the second layer, and they fought outside the ring for a bit. I will say the coolest spot in the whole match was when Jinder went for the Colossus, and Orton hit him with an RKO. That was actually smart, and I didn't see that happening. So kudos to them for that. They brawled on the outside. They used kendo sticks. They used chairs. Randy gave him a DDT using the cage. The Singh brothers both died. They both teased climbing out of the cage. Nothing really happened. Randy eventually went to town, kicked everyone's ass, climbed up the cage when Jinder's music hit, and the fucking Great Khali came out. As soon as his fucking music hit, I knew it was Great Khali. It had to be. There was no one else. And the thing was, like, I had read earlier that there was a possible spoiler that a world champion was backstage, and I didn't read it. I didn't read the article because I was like, I don't want to know, because it might be like Rey Mysterio or something who's like returning to the company, and I'm fucking so glad I didn't read that now. I honestly was watching this matchup so fucking wanting Randy Orton to win and so fucking being sure that he'd win, but Jinder Mahal. Great Khali comes out, he grabs Randy Orton, he chokes him, Jinder Mahal climbs out and wins. Jinder Mahal retains the WWE title, which means he is going into the SummerSlam pay-per-view, the second biggest show of the year, with the WWE title, which means one of our main events will feature the worst world champion in history, who will probably be accompanied by the second worst world champion in history. This was shit. This match fucking bored me to tears. The Colossus spot was cool, so I'll give it some credit. But outside of that, this match was fucking boring. And the finish with fucking Great Khali, and you Jinder fucking idiots, you fucking knobheads who've brought the Great Khali back. I'm being serious. If Jinder Mahal hadn't been pushed, the Great Khali probably wouldn't come back. You have brought the Great Khali back. You hindered Jinder idiots. Idiots. I gave this match a star, mainly because of the Colossus RKO spot. Outside of that, it was boring. And that was Battleground. And when I think about this show and how wacky all the booking was, the shitty main event, the flag match which bored me, the Mike Kanellis Sami Zayn match which seemed like a SmackDown match with weird booking, which I did like because I did like it because I hate the gimmick. What else was on the show? The disappointing Stiles Owens match, which was still very good, and I mean the great opener, awesome opener. Can't fault the opener; it was awesome. And then like the women's match, which was fine, and I'm missing one match, and then the Corbin Shinsuke match, which was fine. So everything on the show you could have seen on SmackDown outside of the tag match. I'm going to give this show a 4. I didn't enjoy the show. I enjoyed the opener, and I was so excited for the rest of the show. But after that, it just went... And even, like, match quality-wise, like, the Nakamura Corbin match was okay, the women's match was fine, the Styles Owens match picked it up, and then the other 3 matches were frankly just there. 4 out of 10. This show was, I think, the worst pay-per-view this year. And just because there was one great match, and there was one very good match, and the rest of the show was just there. And people are going to defend this show, the Hinder Jinder, they're going to defend all of it. Shockingly, I heard someone complain about the opener. And I was like, on this show, you're going to complain about the fucking opener. 4 out of 10. What a pay-per-view. Fucking can't wait for SummerSlam to see Jinder Mahal. Thanks for watching, guys. This has been Raw Slot. Like, comment, subscribe for more. Tell me your thoughts. What did you think to Battleground 2017? Are you an idiot and thought it was good? Are you an idiot and thought the main event Punjabi Prison match was good? Are you an idiot who thought the Great Khali comeback was good? Are you an idiot who thought Jinder Mahal having the belt was good? Thanks for watching, guys. This has been Revolver Slot.